Okay, so this is Rain on the Plains here, and someone encouraged me to start my own channel just so we can stick together, um, help each other out in this new world we live in. And, I know I've kind of been going crazy the last 2 months, but just to kind of tell you my own story, my first Mandela Effect, I noticed it actually in either the late 70s or early 80s. And, I have a really good memory for spelling and for other stuff, or had at one time anyways. Used to win spelling bees. I can spell stuff, and I notice things too. And anyway, my first one was, I come from a farming family, and we bought a new tractor or combine or something, and I was looking at it and I'm like, what in the world? Why did they add the E? I think I even asked my parents and they're like, I don't know, just rebranding or whatever. Of course, most of these are what people's are going to tell you is that, oh, they just rebranded it. Well, when you research it a little bit, come to find out, of course, well, no, it's always been John Deere with an E. Well, not everybody remembers that. And there's a lot of residual evidence for for it being without an E on the end. And I also, I remember quite a few things over the years. Most of them are after 2010, but there are some in between the John Deere one and that. But most of them are after 2010. And I just remember, a couple of really small things, like, going to JCPenney's for clothes or whatever. And I stood out of that store for about 2 minutes, looking to see that, what in the world? They didn't always have an EY on the end, but, these things, like I say, when you're starting to notice them and you're just, you're wondering, what in the heck's wrong with you? Did you really remember it? And then there's a couple things that happened lately that made me look up stuff online. I saw Bernstein bears of my nieces laying on the floor. And I said, what in the world? Someone should have had to pay for that typo, with the STAIN, because I always remembered it STEIN. And then there were other things too. About maybe 6 months ago, I was standing in Walmart and looked at an end cap, where they have the things at the end of the aisle, and, here's a Noxzema bottle without the Z. Well, like in the late 70s, I know for a fact it had a Z. I used it because I had an acne problem, and so I used it. And, 4 months ago, I'm just, didn't really know anything about Mandela Effect or anything, so I just was saying, gosh, well, they must have just dropped the Z, And so now, but now, of course, it's got a Z on it. So that was my first flip-flop. And then my second flip-flop is Winona Ryder. Because I remember when Johnny Depp, he changed his tattoo from Winona Forever to Wino Forever. So obviously that was spelled WINO. And then it went to WYNO, and now it's back to WINO. And so those are the only two flip-flops that I've noticed so far. But the flip-flops are weird, and then a personal Mandela for me the Bible ones are huge as well, but I won't even go into all that because there's so many changes in that. And and then also my biggest personal one is I had a very distinct scar on my left arm my whole life, and when that scar disappeared, I have no idea. But I mean, this was like probably a 3-inch long scar. I mean, it was very light, but it was a 3-inch long scar on my arm that just is no longer there anymore. So I don't know. I think maybe it will help to kind of get these stories out and just see what comes of it. And because I know my head has hurt like crazy just the past 6 weeks, and it does help to talk about it. I only have a couple people in real life to talk to about it, And so the online community definitely helps. But we're definitely living in a new world. And everybody have a great Mandela day or night, whichever it is for you. And I'm out.